Hello, this is Jim Phillips with Remember Veteran Grave Markers. Well, in this episode, I want to talk about something we're not talking about cleaning this time, but we're going to talk about relationships, critical relationships that help you better understand and appreciate what you do. Now, when I first started this, I had learned a lot from my colleagues on the internet that have YouTube pages. So I learned a lot about not only cleaning, but I also learned about heritage. So I want to bring to your attention what you could get further by doing what you're doing. It is a great and rewarding experience to be able to take care of the graves of our fallen, of the men and women who have served. But it even better when you can find out something about the person that you're cleaning. So if you're cleaning a grave on a Vietnam veteran who died, you could find out more about them, where they died, perhaps even how they died, if they were received any awards for that, if there were any recognitions that or acknowledgments in the newspaper. Things that you can do to be able to dig deeper about this person so that you can, when you're cleaning it, you can appreciate more the history of the individual that you're taking care of. You know, keep in mind what you're doing is a noble work and it's yeoman's effort in regards to taking care of all of the things that need to be done. But I want to share with you a few things that I have learned along the way. First off, there's the simple ones that you would think of, such as billion graves or find a grave, where you can actually find information about someone who is in those registries. And if they're not, you can add them. There's also the information you'd get from perhaps even the county cemetery association. If there's one that you have, connect with them, be part of them, join them, learn about what they're doing in regards to your counting. It's one thing about you see the gravestones behind you is at a national cemetery, but most of the veterans that we're going to be seeing are located in private and municipal cemeteries around the fruited plains across the country. So we were able to learn something about them because they're actually buried in the communities in which they grew up, which you're at. So you can certainly, by doing what you do, is engender more spirit for the community so they can understand the people that serve that community. Ways to be able to do that is also taking a look at Ancestry. Ancestry.com is one way. Now, what I'm saying in all these things is not an endorsement, but they're just directions. And if you want to use them, you can. If you don't want to use them, that's fine. But these are ways to be able to flesh out the people who you're looking at and whose graves you are cleaning. My Heritage is one of them. Fold 3 is another. That's a Ancestry offshoot, but it looks at specifically military stuff. You also might want to take a look at, um, the Federal Park Service. They have information on veteran war dead in the Revolutionary War, Civil War, a variety of these areas. The same thing with the Department of Veterans Affairs. They have a very comprehensive list of those who are buried in their cemeteries. It is woefully inaccurate if you're going to use them to find anybody outside of these cemeteries. So they're only good really at this moment for those inside. Perhaps one day we'll be able to populate veterans who are located in the municipal and private cemeteries across the land. That would be really nice. Well, if you've got a veteran that is got a monument, for example, a memorial stone, in memory of, well, they may have a monument uh, overseas, a burial marker overseas as well. And that could be because they're buried over there, or secondly, it could be because they were buried at sea. So they've got a memorial. So if you see something like that, give some thought to where they may in fact be buried at. I had one person who had a marker uh, at a cemetery in Toledo, but they also for in memory of, but they also had one in the Philippines where they have the American cemetery there. So it's kind of interesting to see some of these things that they that are placed in that fashion. Um, One of the things I have discovered in my looking at roots, my for my personal roots, is that well, I have had family members who are while I'm searching out everybody else, I'm not even thinking about me. So I'm thinking about well, okay, winter time gave me a lot of time to think about me. So I'm start looking at stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have veteran roots from the Confederacy. I said, I didn't know that. I always thought myself a northern guy and still consider myself a northern guy. But, I have roots in the Mississippi um, Confederate service people. So the family in that area. I thought that was interesting. And then digging a little bit further, I find out that I have relatives that fought in the American Revolution. So I'm eligible with proper documentation to be a member of the Sons of the American Revolution and also Sons of the Confederate Veterans. And there's also, and I'm still looking at this one, is looking at Sons of Union Veterans because I suspect that I have people on both sides of the fence. So I'm hoping to be able to do that because I think it adds additional flavor to the work I do when you're talking to people about the importance of what they do. So yeah, okay, I find out this kind of stuff. And I think that if you get into it deeper, it's more than just technically looking at cleaning a stone or a grave marker. It becomes more of a history lesson. And then you wonder how you fit in the history lesson. And when you can describe what somebody else does, you can then think about, well, what does that mean to me? And how does that apply to me? And how does that apply to my family? How does that apply to the people I'm related to? These are all the things that kind of go through your head when you start playing around with just cleaning a headstone. Because when you go to a cemetery, it's not just a place where you catalog dead people. It is a living history of who we are as Americans, as citizens of a community, as citizens of a state. This is who we are. The sum and substance of all these people that have died here have made us the people we are. So, with that being said, this is a good thing to do. Look at these things, explore them, check out associations, check out memberships to things so that you can become a better informed ambassador for the work we do in cleaning graves. I think that's a pretty sweet deal. You take care. Have a good one.